Woo! Oops. What's going on, YouTube? Got a used, I don't know what year, maybe 1920, Kia Telluride in. This one, used car. We're actually going to strip and tint the two front doors. Kind of had a sloppy job. Looks like this might not have been the tinner, but looks like the tint got lifted and laid back down, although it could have been, because there's a bunch of dirt in there, so maybe something they're struggling with it. Creases in dirt, more dirt. If you look here, there's the rubber's all cut up. Kind of sad when people do that stuff. So, yeah, just kind of rushing through things. But we're gonna get it fixed up nice. And let's see, this one wasn't quite as bad, but since the films aren't gonna match, actually this film's already turning colors. Let's see if we can get that on video. If I got something white, some paper. I mean, this car's only a year or two old. I don't know if you can see that. It's like turning brown. I thought it was just kind of a brownish tint, but it's sort of it was like a bluish gray tint. Now it's already starting to turn brown a year or two later. I'm hoping whoever paid for this tint the first time didn't pay too much for it. The front's not too bad, got a little gap, but this door's not awful. The other door, not so good. So let me pull out this sweep real quick. I don't know if I've done a Telluride video before, so I like to just kind of pop. And this goes for like almost all of the Kias, Hyundais. You can usually pop off this front corner there, and or at least the newer ones, I should say, and just kind of loosen things up just a little bit. This one was really dirty, so I think there's a bunch of dirt jammed in the sweep right here, so I'm just kind of being gentle. It's kind of all gooed together. All right, there we go. Now just gonna pull this out nice and easy. Woo! I don't know if you saw that. That was some fairy dust or something. Man, I wonder where this lived in a past life. That was spectacular. But I don't think I've done this on a video yet. So right now, just kind of waiting for the steamer to heat up. And once that's ready to go, then we're gonna try to steam it off. Sometimes, I had to excuse my heater, sometimes when we steam it, it'll come off really nice and easy. Sometimes it'll come off easy but leave all the glue, then we gotta clean up the glue. Sometimes the steamer does nothing, but we're gonna give it a moment. I think it's almost there. I use this, you know, it's amazing because there's all these like options on the market for steamers, Jiffy steamers. I was using like the larger Wagner wallpaper steamers, but I bought this steamer kind of in a pinch. It was the only one they had at Lowe's. It's a wallpaper steamer, cheapest thing available probably. And kind of by chance, I noticed that the end of it, because there's like a big flat attachment, so I was trying to use it without anything on the end, and it really wasn't working all that great. And I discovered that you can screw in an air chuck right into the end there, perfect size. And then now you have a metal nozzle. Sometimes I'll use this nozzle to kind of scrape at the tint and get it started. It's super durable, and it like funnels down the steam so that it sprays it out better, kind of like those other steamers. And so once I found that out, like, this is pretty much my go-to steamer. I mean, it doesn't break. It's beyond low maintenance. There's no moving parts. There's nothing, no switches. About the only thing is you don't fill it up too full, or otherwise it takes a half a day to get hot. So you just leave it half, 3/4 full. And you got to make sure that the plug is plugged in, because you can remove the plug out of the back here. So sometimes you'll plug it in and it doesn't get hot, and it's because it came unplugged on the back. So other than that, I've actually had that steamer probably about 3-4 years now, and it has been just beyond reliable. Let's go ahead and see. I'm hoping this will say verified patterns. The Telluride patterns weren't my favorite, but they were workable. Mostly they're a little short on the sides, and they had a little too much curve on the back corner. So if your tint was like just barely past the edge right here, then you'd have like a little like circle right here, because of the way the tint was curved. It'd be nice if they corrected that. Let's see what this says. Legacy. So this is probably the same old pattern that I'm used to. I know how to work around it. So you can kind of see on that how much that curve is. Well, there's no curve on this door at the corner, but if you basically make the front right on the line, the way this window rolls up, it will cover like an extra 1/16 of an inch afterwards, and it'll get it to where there's almost like nothing in the corner. So that's not too bad. Sounds like my steamer's going. You have 20 in the machine. Let's go ahead and swap this out real quick. Tell you what, I have been using this Graphtec plotter 5 to 6 days a week for probably more than 10 years now, and it has just been flawless. If you're out kind of shopping for plotters, especially, you know, company, something that's going to get used day in, day out, I cannot recommend Graphtec enough. These things are just, I mean, I think I had to replace one of these little latches here, stop latching, right? But even in a pinch, I took the one from the middle and put it out on the side. It was probably this one, because this is the one I move the most. I think it got a little wacky from sliding it back and forth to adjust it, and broke some of the plastic on it after time. And so I was able to slide the middle one over for temporary till I got another one. That worked amazing. And then I got my origin button that I use a lot, starting to get a little loose here. But I got a phone call. Let me take this real quick. All right, sorry, telemarketers, woo, party. But let's see what this steamer's gonna do. See, look at that. The only downside I'll say, because this one doesn't get like crazy hot right away, it kind of spits out some water, and the water falls, like you're in the back seat of a car, the water falls in your lap, burns the heck out of you, falls on your eyeball. You're sitting there looking up, steaming a back window, and that hot steamy water falls on your eyeball. Not a fun time. But see, you can see this little air chuck nozzle. I'll just come right here and I just use it to kind of get things started. And then don't try this at home. 24 4 years of playing with cars. I don't have feeling in my hands anymore. And we're just gonna go nice and slow. So what I do here is I'm not technically pulling the tint off. I just put a little tension on the tint, just a tiny bit of tension, and then when the steam hits it, it just releases itself. So all I'm doing with my left hand here is maintaining just a tiny bit of tension. Working pretty good, leaving some glue. That'll come off real easy with the scrubby. Sometimes you can even get kind of lucky. I'll show you a couple other things. If you just pull it nice and slow with no heat, sometimes you'll get even luckier and the glue will stay stuck to the tint, almost like the oh, but see, when it pops like that, now we got a string of glue. Another thing you can do, sometimes will work, is if you put a little water on the back side here and then pull it nice and slow, that water, and you just keep it, you'll see how there's like water just kind of resting right there. You just keep a little bit of water right there, a little bit of soapy water. Oh, we don't want to hear popping noises though. That means it's leaving glue. But yeah, you just a little bit of this. I don't really like taking razor blades to glass, so I always try to get as much off as I can with the steamer, pulling it off, whatever works. Especially like newer glass, aftermarket glass, it all seems so soft. You barely hit it with a razor blade and it'll put a bunch of scratches in the glass. I know my coworker here thinks I'm an idiot, but I promise it'll bite you in the ass one of these days, taking razor blades to new glass. Let's see. Yeah, see, and I'm not pulling it. I'm just holding tension. And then once we hit it with the steamer, here we go. Just kind of back and forth, back and forth. This car's gonna take me a little while today, mostly because it's my only job. So I don't want to get it done too fast. Maybe something else will come up. Been having a dealer likes to make appointments for their customers and then no show, and then call me 3-4 days later and be like, hey, could you tip this car? And then when they give me the stock number, it's the same stock number for the car that didn't show the week before, several days before. Like, well, maybe you should stop making appointments and not showing up to them. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, just rambling, I actually was talking about that on a video I shot yesterday, but I don't know if that video is gonna come through. I got about half my video done, and my GoPro here was giving me an error, telling me that my SD card was bad. So I gotta see how much video I'm actually able to recover off of that, and if I'm gonna even be able to have a video from it. But mostly I was just talking about no shows, late appointments, how late people kind of screw things up for everybody else. Kind of have this feeling a lot of times that people that are habitually late are just kind of self-important, and they think the world revolves around them, but maybe not. I like punctuality. And so maybe I just get annoyed by people who don't feel the same way that I do. Come on, baby. We're doing something. This tint is like super thin. This is probably some of that just like real cheap single ply stuff. Get a 60-inch roll for $100. They'll cut it any size you want. First guy kind of interested in buying my company. He was telling me, oh, I got this, I had this shop in Houston. We were buying rolls for $100 a roll, 60 inches. It's like, that's cool. And then he's telling me about the car audio, because I was doing car audio up until earlier this year. It's like, yeah, and you know, we were selling this brand, we were selling that brand. And all the brands he was talking about were like this, just like high markup stuff. It was, you know, the stuff you can always sell at like 40% off and make somebody think they're getting a good deal. And so anyways, I didn't really talk to him too much about audio. I'm not doing it with the company, and so that wasn't a part that he was really going to be looking at buying anyways. But we sat down, we were talking about tint, we were talking about the price of jobs that I do, and then he wanted to get into the cost of the materials I'm buying. And I basically buy one of the best brands of film you can buy. Not so much for this dealer stuff, which actually Express has some really good film, so I'm not gonna knock them. But for the most part, probably 80, 85, maybe even 90% of my work, and probably, I don't know, 95% of my profits comes from Lumar, which is the brand that I've sold for probably the last 10-12 years now. I think I started with ATR in 09 as sort of like a premium upsell, and then eventually I replaced whatever I was selling as the cheap tint with ATC, and then finally convinced myself, hey, people will pay for a nice film. Brought on CTX probably about 2011, 2012. But anyways, you know, they're very high-priced films for the dealers, and you know, kind of reflects on the price on the installer, hopefully. Otherwise, they're not making any money. But so yeah, we started going over the price of some of the films that I sell or I buy, and we're talking 5, 6, 7 times what he was paying for film. And yeah, he, I think, kind of fell out of his chair. There's kind of this thing about window tinting. Some people, customers, owners, you know, owners that are kind of disconnected from the industry but just own an automotive upfitting accessory type shop, you know, they're just like, tint is tint, right? Tinters are tinters, tint is tint, and cheap is good. Like, buy it cheap, sell it for a lot, or buy it cheap, sell it for a big discount. When in actuality, there is some benefit to spending some nicer money. I mean, to give you an idea, if he's buying a roll of film at $100, realistically, not including labor, just for jobs, I'm gonna guess he's one of those $99 tint shop guys. And So you get about 6 to 8 cars out of a roll of film, spend $100 on a roll, and you make, what, 600, maybe 700 out of that roll of film. I buy a roll of film and I make 3,000 out of that same roll of film. Same, you know, it doesn't matter the price, you still get same number of cars out of a 100-foot roll of film. And so just spilled some water. Just how you look at things, you know. I would rather tint 3 cars a day with a good film to let me go talk to some. Well, like I said earlier, my GoPro memory card decided to die, and so I found this one, 8 megabits. 8 megabits doesn't go very far. I'm about out of memory card. I'm gonna get this finished up, take a couple pictures. Maybe I'll talk to you in a little bit. I'll see you later.